Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. Things are getting tougher. The natural resolution to puzzles is not coming so easily with some of these new mechanics, and so we did get this silvered last time. I think that's where we stopped, so we'll see if we can do some more of these, and if we can't, we will bounce around a bit more rather than being as rigid as we have been. So, Precision 3 and Watchtower. So, for this to see 3, it's going to have something akin to this. Could it be any other? Okay, that would have to be 3. Well, okay, let's look at this guy. This has to have 3. And this has to have 3. Therefore, I think this has to be a 1. And then this has to be connected to something to get out. This has to be connected to something to get out. God, no, how do you do that? With Precision 3. That's the only way I can see to do it so far, but I've been wrong before. That will come to there, that has to come to there. No, I can't just intuit it. I can't see it in, like, the visual of my brain. A 2 is either going to have a 1 and a 3, or a 2 and a 2 that then make other space. But the logic just isn't there for me in like an immediate fashion, which is terrifying. I think I'm going to leave that and we're going to go somewhere else. So shows the area of a greater region, or all bricky, there cannot be a point where 4 borders meet. I think we're going to go bricky. And if all regions must be this, then that has to be that. Okay. That's at least a start my brain can kind of comprehend. This rule can be stated as borders must never make a plus shape. Okay, so if that ends up with that being a plus shape, then we go that way. That has to exist. That has to exist. Nope. God. It's just so much less intuitive than it once was. Right, bricky, but we've got no size limits. So is there any reason I can't just do that? Oh, apart from the double wall. Okay, yeah, sure. Oh no, okay. No, I'm reading it wrong. I'm reading it wrong. This cannot be a border, so that has to do that at least. Okay. That has to do that at least, because that can't make 4 points there. Okay. That can't make 4 points there, so that comes out. That can't make 4 points there, that comes out. That has to be a different color. Let's leave that for a second. This is a 2. This can't be a line, so that gets a thing. That can't be a line, so that gets a thing. I like this kind of set of givens. Like, that can't be a line, so that gets a thing. That has to be a line, because we can't make both lines on the same color on other sides. That's a 1. That can't be a line, so that gets that. That can't be a line, so that gets that. That can't be a line, so that gets that. That can't be aligned, so I guess that. Can we just do... nope, that goes there. Oh my god. Alright, I was onto it, I was just stopping at the wrong point or something. Shape bank and bricky. Okay, so this and this cannot exist, therefore that's a 3. Why? Okay, yep, that doesn't work like that. I need to slow down. I need to slow down. That's not one of those shapes, so that gets the line. That can't make that. It comes across. That can do that. That can't make that. That comes across. That can't take a corner, so that must exist. That can't take a corner, so that must exist. Excuse you. Okay, I'm getting there. Look out, if the corner of a region touches another corner, it will cause 4 borders to meet. Okay, well, that and that. So, it's saying that that can't exist, and that can't exist, and that can't exist. So, that 2 goes there. And then this 3 just has to go there. Because if it went to the corners, it would have other problems. I don't know. Right, we've unlocked a bunch more puzzles. There's our door. 29 for silver. I don't know if this is going to allow a mechanic to unlock over here. We didn't unlock anything there, so it could be one mechanic that then adds a mechanic. Similar here, we could do this that adds onto that, and then they all congregate over here again. Goodness me. It's the first time during the game, really, that I've been intimidated by anything. Okay, so this can't be a corner, and this can't be a corner, so that edge must exist, and that must be the shape. This can't be the same color on both sides, so I think that has to pick that up and those go there. This is going to need a blue. This can't go through that red, so that exists. That can do that, and that can do that. Good. Bricky area numbers. 1, 1, 1. Right, this can't do that because that makes a corner, so that does that. That can't do that because it makes 4-way corners, so that does that. That can't do that because it makes a 4-way corner. Can do that. Could it do this? No? I think it has to be that. Oh god, no. That has to exist. Oh god. Oh, they can be in the same region of 3, can't they? They absolutely can. All right, let me recalibrate again. Oh, my little brain. My poor little brain. Right, look for the logic. Don't just make assumptions. This cannot go to here because it makes a corner. It could go to there, I think. That can't do that. No, this can't do this because it makes either a 4-way there or alternately a 4-way there. So this is 2 different 3s. But this brick must exist. God. This must exist. But we've already decided that that can't do that in a world where this happens. But all these new mechanics are just not... Like, my brain can't visualize it the same as everything else we've done so far. This must exist. This can't be a 1. Because this can't be 2 1s, and it can't be a 1 with this 2. So that has to be a 3, but it can't be a 3. So what am I missing? That can't be a 3. That has to exist. What is going on? I can't see anything. It's a difficulty 1 puzzle. This shouldn't be hard. Right, this 2 cannot do that. Goes over, put a box around it. This 2 can't do that. Goes over, put a box around it. That's a 1. This can do this or this, but we don't know which yet. This line can't exist, therefore this must come across to here. If this comes out to here, that would have to go to there and do this. There it is. God, we're going to be struggling for a bit, I think. How big is this? 49. That's hilarious. Is it that one? Nope. What one can it be? What a funny puzzle. What one can it be? That makes a cross. That makes a cross. That makes a cross. That makes a cross. Alright, we're going to start marking stuff off here. Can't be this. Can't be this. Can't be this. Can't be this. That makes a cross. That would make a cross. Is it this one? Okay. Clever. Very clever. Bricky, non-boxy areas. Bricky, non-boxy. Where do we begin with that? This is very limited in its size. This 3 can't do that because that's blocky or boxy. Could do this or could do that. So this line exists. To start, this cannot exist. This could exist, or this could exist. So that line exists. Oh, what am I doing? I was just thinking about how it goes 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, and whether the empty space is going to make it look like it spells something, as they sometimes do, but probably not here. Okay, let's look at these T-shaped pieces. That has to be a line, 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 so that we don't make the 4 crosses for Bricky. If that 4 is the limit, this 5 could go up further. Oh, but then that becomes boxy, and we can't have any 1s. Hold on, okay. If things can't be boxy, we can't have 1s. So that must go to there, that must go to there. That's going to impact a lot of things. This 3 can't join this to make a 4, because it's too big. So that 3 is there, put a box around it. That 4 can't take this and that, so that goes there, put a box around it. This 5... 1, 2, 3, 4 can't do that, so I think it's taking this, put a box around it. That can't be boxy, can't cover both sides of a line, put a box around it. This 5 might have to be that, put a box around it. This 3 has to be that, put a box around it. This 4 can do that, this 5 can do that, and those 2 join together. That's what I meant to do. Okay, we're getting there. We're slowly getting some perspective on these. 3, 3, 2. All regions must be one of these shapes. But if I do this, that makes a corner, which is trippy. How else do we do this? How else on earth do we do this? Like, that fits there and there, but we can't do this. I think we don't use the big shape at all. Okay, it's not that way, but it's going to be one of these ways. But we're just going to build some kind of brick pattern. This can either do this or this. That's too many pieces on the wrong side. So, this is 10. This is 10. But this has to exist and this has to exist to stop these making corners. Oh, we can't do that. We can do that. But that makes it too many spots. Is there any way we fit the other piece in to this grid without leaving this here? I don't think so. I think that's a trap. I just have to figure out how to make the bricks go. That's looking better, isn't it? I smelled the trap, I just couldn't execute it in the initial instance. Must be one of these shapes. Well, that can't be that, because it makes this. So this must belong to a 3. Can't be that, because that can't exist. So it would have to be this and this. Then that must exist. Could it be this? No, because that makes that be wrong. That must exist, because otherwise we'd have a corner there. Can't be that, because that one's left out on its own. Is there some other way to do this corner? Because there might be. It's not this. And that can't do that. So this must be this. It just must. So these two must join. That's a 4, and that's a 3, and that's a 3. That could be a 4. That is valid. This is 13. Okay. Getting the 13 just helped me go, okay, it doesn't go into like 4, 4, 4 without one left over, and eliminated some of those variables. 3, 3, 2, 3, 1. All regions must be one of these shapes. Well, this cannot be this. Thus, I think... How on earth do we get some tile here without having a 1 and another 1? Oh no, we can have 2 1s. We can have 2 1s. Okay, yeah. Ah, damn. Right, that's not going to go then, is it? That can't go there. Alright, this probably isn't right. We didn't really start on logic. We started more on just me noticing that something did work. This has to be a 1. Therefore, this can't be a 2, and this can't be a 2 because of this. Therefore, I think this is a 3 by 3. This can't do that. So how do we account for this corner? Possibly that. This isn't far off of what we had done a minute ago, I think. 1, 1, 2 by 2, 2 by 2, 1, 1. Okay. 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3 over there. Stuff hiding back here. Nothing up there, nothing up there. 2 down here. All regions must be one of these shapes. This cannot do that. So this can't be a 1 and a 1. So these must be part of a T-shape. Which means it either has to go here and here, or... It has to be one of those. This can't do that because... could it? No, it can't do that. My poor little brain. That has to do that. That can't make 3 singles. That can't make 2 singles. Oh. That can't be another single. It doesn't work and my brain doesn't see the patterns. I just don't know what to do after this. If this is the T-shape, this is one of two potential T-shapes, which means that must exist. Because we can't go up there. Which would mean that can't exist. So it'd have to be this. Then that has to exist. Oh, it's like a rotation symmetry. Okay. Tell you what, this is not getting easier before it gets harder. Bricky, boxy palisades. Okay. You know, that has to be true. That has to be true. This has to come out to there. We know that. That has to come out to there. We know that. And everything has to be boxy. The beat box. So that's going to do this and this. So that has to exist. That can't take a corner. So that has to exist. That has a line. That has to exist. This has to be boxy. That can all be boxy on the same side, prevents a line being there. This has to colour that way. This gets a domino. Can we do... Okay, this can't... That has to exist like that. That can come all the way. That can exist as a 1. And can this be... Oh, God. Wait. Nope. Nope. You have to take up that and that at least. You have to be boxy. And you just be a 4 of your own. No. What? You take that. Can you be a 4 of your own? Yes. Can you be 2 2s? No. Can you be a 2 that way? Yes. We have filled the bricky window. What is after the bricky window? You might find the edge drawing tool particularly useful within these puzzles. Loopy. There cannot be a point where exactly 3 borders meet. Good grief, dude. So we can't have any T-junctions. So that has to do... Can we just do that? I hate it. God damn, my brain. My poor little brain. I can't even imagine, like, when we get down here, and it's... Maybe it will get easier. Maybe when they're putting elements I'm back more familiar with these new elements, it will get easier. Maybe. Time will tell. Alright, let's do some more. Alright. That's a simple start. Shape bank, bricky, polyominoes. So that has to exist over there. This can't do this and this because then that makes a 4x4. So that is a shape bank. That has to be 1. That has to be 1. Therefore, that has to be a 2x2. because we can't have fours coming all the way down, singles coming all the way down next to a large line. So that makes that. This has to be a polyomino, but we can't have that be a line. How do we use the shape bank? Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. Was I wrong about this? Where did this go wrong? Okay. These lines must exist between two shapes. Puts this into a 2x2. You're a single. This must bridge that gap. If this is a 2x2, that could be a 2x2. That might be where I went wrong. Then we have a single and a single, and a single and a single, and a 2x2 and a 2x2 and a single and a single. Oh, stop it. And then that can still be that. So these being offset was where I went wrong. That's a single. This is probably... Yeah, it has to be a 2x2 because of this T-shape. And then this is just 3 of those. Okay. And then things are just getting more complicated. Bricky Precision 4. So, if you are there, you have to come out. You could be this, you could be that, you can't be anything else. Yeah, you can't be that because it leaves a 1. So this is either this or this. In fact, it's this, because if we leave that, we get the cross. So, box. That needs a line there, that needs a line there. This has to come out. 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 There's 6 here. This got 2. That would leave 4 here. But that can't be a block. Because that has to exist. That has to exist. This has to... Oh, interesting. That's true for all of these. So, because this has to be 3 long, this has to take up space, that has to take up space, that has to take up space, because we need to make sure all of the space available between this line and this line are consumed to make this divisible by 12. That puts that there. Except now... Oh, I was going to say, this can't get out with this getting out, but they could just be together. That would be fine. So that has to get out to there. We don't have any... Oh, that has to go to there. Which means that's doing that, and that's coming across. Lovely. 4. Anything hiding underneath? There's you there, you're a 4. 2 and a 3 up here. That was a really long loading time. Those are not the same shape. You tricked me. Right, we have to come out, we have to come out. It can't be bigger than this. Ah, okay. It can't be bigger than that, but it can't be that. So it has to be this and this. No, okay. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because that's 4 with 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 with 2. Sneaky. Oh, Gemini Deltas. Why do you hate me so? There's very little to start off here with. It's cute that you can see this puzzle in the zoomed in frame for this one. Imagine if they hid puzzles that you could like just barely see, but only from the perspective of other puzzles. Right. Because of the proximity of these to these, if this has a shape, this has to be different while that has to be the same. Damn. So far, so good, though. Doesn't feel like I've used any logic. If that's going to exist, that has to be 2, which means that has to be 1. That can be 1 and 1, but it can't. Would that be 3? 2, 2, 1. Can't. I don't know where I'm even beginning with this. That can't be because the size of the shape means this delta is seeing both sides of something. I don't know where my in is here, and I'm just going to be staring at it for too long. We might even have a shorter episode on my hands. Like, rather than being like the hour to hour and a half video these have all been, they might start being shorter with more time spent just trying to logic out these puzzles that I don't understand as well. Oh, lordy. Right, this comes out to here. That has to be a line. That means this has to come out to here and here, and that has to be a line. This has to come out to here, that has to come out to there, this has to come out to here and here, and those are lines. That has to come out to there. There is 33 here. 13 plus 13 is 26. 26 plus 9 is 35. Therefore, something is sharing a group. This is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. But it can't be that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope. Okay, hold on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not too bad. Are you similar? Right, this is going to make for a lot of non-brick spaces. Namely that and that and that and that and that and that. What does that make? 15. How are we... You can't do that around both sides of this. This has to all be the same. Oh, God. let's not start at the 16 side a second. Let's start down here. So that can't exist. So if that's going to exist, it could exist just like that. It could. That makes 15. This is 9. By the time we add 1, this is 16. This is 8. That'll do it. Oh, God. So the 40 is going to take up just all the other space. We just have to think that, like, this 2 can't come to there because it touches another 2. It can't go to there because it touches another 2. Therefore, this 2 must go there. That 2 must go there. That 2 must go there, 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 there. 40. That wasn't so bad. Alright, should we cap off the episode with a couple of 4s? Bricky mismatch. All regions must have different shapes. Well, that has to make that be bricky. All regions, not neighboring regions, all regions must have different shapes. So one of these is going to be a 3, and one of these is going to be a 2 and a 1, because we can't have 3 1s. We don't know if it's this or this yet, but that exists at the very, very least. This has to exist and this has to exist. That has to get out and that has to get out. One of them can be a 3. But they can't both be 3s. This can't be a 2 because we know the 2 is going to be accounted for in one of those. This looks okay. It means that's the 3. This will be the 2 and the 1. We just don't know where yet. That has to be at least 4, because it can't be a 1 because it's gonna, the 1's here. It can't be a 2 because the 2's here. It can't be a hook because the hook's here. So this is at least a 4. Very nice. Not bad for a 4. Not as bad as I feared, at least. All regions must have the same shape. Well, it's not 1s. Is it 2s? Well, this is 20. This is also 20. So it's either going to be 2s, 4s, or 5s. It's not looking like 2s, because we can't do that way. 4s. Looks good. Does not look good anymore. Does look good. I just wasn't rotating something right. Bricky, range 4-5, different area sizes. I think I'm going to take the win of the one I just solved and call that there, because these new areas are racking my brain. So, shorter episode today. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.